This year marks the 120th anniversary of Labor Day. Many Americans are celebrating the unofficial end of summer with backyard barbecues, beach getaways, shopping. We're celebrating here on the set with you this morning, Anthony and I. But many of us have really lost sight of the real significance behind this national holiday. Kenneth Davis is the author of Don't Know Much About History. Welcome back to Studio 57.
Good morning.
Good morning. People sort of check this off as a long weekend, but what is this day really about?
Well, it started out with a picnic in New York City in 1882, but this is a time when labor and work was no picnic. We're talking about a time when people worked 6-hour weeks, 6-day weeks, 12-hour days. There were no laws against child labor. Labor in the late 19th century was hard, dirty, difficult, and dangerous. And every attempt to organize into unions was usually met with resistance, sometimes military resistance from the federal government. So it was a very difficult time to be a worker in America.
So why did the government put that first Monday in September on the calendar as a celebration?
Well, it was meant, first of all, in 1882 to become a day to work for fair wages, fair working conditions, the end of child labor. And the government resisted that for that whole time. And in 1894, there was a very violent strike against the Pullman Car Company. 6 days after that strike ended, because they used federal troops to put it down and a dozen workers died, President Cleveland signed a Labor Day law into act. It was a kind of bone tossed to the working people of America. We're not going to give you the hours and things that you want, but we'll give you a day off.
So it was a political act, but it was the result of something that had been building for more than a decade.
It had been building for more than a decade. It was really 20 years from the end of the Civil War to the turn of the 20th century. There was another civil war in America. It was the war between working people and the companies that they worked for.
It was the battle really for like the 5-day work week and the 8-hour workday, right?
Those were all of the immediate goals, and of course they weren't realized on a national level. It's hard to believe until 1938 during the Great Depression under FDR. That's when we first have child labor laws that end child labor in America. And we're not talking about kids delivering newspapers and shining shoes. These were children working in the mines, in the factories, doing the dirtiest work, going into the smallest places in coal mines. So when we think about Labor Day today, it's a holiday, we enjoy it, we have the barbecue, but it was really about a period of tremendous blood, sweat, and tears in American history that we don't teach in our history books.
And you say there's actually even real significance to the fact the idea you're not supposed to wear white after today. Why are you supposed to swap this out?
I see none of us wearing white. I have a little. Who could wear white in the summertime back then? Well, you could only wear white if you were wealthy enough to really not have to work. I mean, working people didn't wear white. So it was the kind of thing that you went away to the summer resort if you were of the class that could afford to do that. So there was very strict class distinctions about who could wear white. And then the fashion industry caught on and said, well, after Labor Day, when you've been wearing white all summer because you can afford to, we're going to have you buy some other fashion. So it was really a class difference that lingered for a long time until it became a fashion statement.
It was about people who could afford to have different wardrobes.
That's right.
Kenneth C. Davis, always fascinating. Thanks so much for being with us.